So I'm really happy to be here with you today, and first of all, really happy to see like we have men and women. So this topic is really not about only about woman, male or gender. It's like all about diversity and how we can like make and drive the change together. So that's why we call the company 50 Intact and not woman, because we really want to welcome all allies, and that's exactly the purpose of my talk today, is how we can do together, can we drive the change together. So Christelle tells a lot about me. I was like the managing director of Willa, and Willa is an incubator dedicated to female founders. It was one of the first in Europe, which supported 500 startups co-founded by women. And I'm also board member of the French UN committee, so pretty engaged in terms of gender equity and what we can do together and related to innovation. So first of all, I want to tell you about the untold story of the woman who made the internet. So if you don't know this book, you need to buy it now. It's really amazing. Claire L. Evans wrote it like last year. And so this is all the stories you don't know about, all the amazing female and female pioneers in the programming and the tech industry. So of course we can begin with Ada, you know all about the first algorithm, but we don't know so much about the human computers. In the 40s and 50s, actually, many of the programmers, so the calculators, were women. It was all made by hand, and this is we call them the computer girls. So this is really the beginning of the story, and so initially we had more women in programmation and calculation than men, and we have like the ENIAC girls, which created the first electronic computers. So we call them the ENIAC girls. 6 women, amazing. But can someone tell me really the name of these 6 women? Can someone in the room tell me about? One name? No name. So I put the name here of these ENIAC programmers. It's Jean Jennings, Marilyn Westcott, Ruth Lichtenstein, Betty Snyders, Frances Billas, Kay McNulty. Why I'm doing this? Because we have a lot of female pioneers, but nobody told us the story. So we erased all the stories of all these female scientific pioneers. We don't know them, so how can you, as a young girl, say something about a role model? You can like just imagine, because we don't know about that. We have, of course, Grace Hopper, the first linguist, the COBOL language, and the word bug. Actually, she invented this word. And so a lot of female pioneers in the tech industry, but few names in mind. And something happened. For decades, the number of women studying computer science was growing, in fact, faster than the number of men. And in the 1984, suddenly, women stop coding. Why? We changed totally the narrative. This is the first presentation of the personal computer, the first advertising, and the first figure as a white male user, aka finally the geek. In fact, the woman is like cooking in the kitchen, and the guy is geeking. So in fact, it's like not programming, just using a personal computer. And this is really the beginning of this new idea that computer is for boys. And it becomes the whole narrative of the Silicon Valley. And as you know, Silicon Valley is really the beginning of all this tech story. And it spreads the world globally. And suddenly, we didn't have like any woman in computer science. Another idea of this advertising and this new narrative, all the studies reveal that families were much like to buy computer for their boys and their girls, even they are really interested in computers. So this is the beginning of all these stories, and happening after on the education. And what we saw, and you saw really the curve is really impressive. So we have like this huge growth, and it's all data, and after a decrease until today. And today, so what we have only 25% of women in the workforce, in the tech workforce. 5% of them are in the leading position. I need to talk about female co-founders because this is a point in the tech industry. We have only 10% of female co-founders and 3% of CEOs. And they get a dismal of 2.7% of all the venture capital funding. So we have a huge situation in tech, and we talk a lot about education, and so we saw the numbers, and this decrease of the women really studying. But in fact, we have a problem on the actual pipeline. One woman in two is leaving tech permanently after 10 years. Sorry. Why? First of all, this is a study from the Atomico Fund. They made a study on, in Europe for all female co-founders and women working in the tech industry. 46 of women in tech say that they have experienced discrimination in 2018. So it's 1 year after Me Too. This is a perception they have, and so this is a problem. And the main reason is not so family reason and they didn't like the work or no. This is workplace condition, lack of promotion, poor management, gender pay gap. That's what they say about the situation and why they want to leave tech. Another survey coming from the US, another VC fund, first one, they asked to every female employee of the tech startup if they have like the same change to get hired in leading like senior role tech positioning. And 40% of them reported that the fact that they are women is something who really decreases the chance to become to be hired in a senior role position in tech. So that's a fact. This is perhaps a feeling, but that they really believe about the tech industry. One other reason, and in fact, what kind of the top one reason for them to really be a little bit get tired of tech is the recurring sexist jokes and the remarks. And sometimes it's like not something, really like something really bad, saying you are not, but you are really good for a girl at coding, or you're here for the female quota. It could be at school or during the inside the enterprise, or a lot of small, remarks from school to the first position and then the second position, and sometimes it's like 10 times a day. Not really to be like mad or to be like really to be a bad person saying that, but it's like small remarks every day, and really hurts your legitimacy to become and to be really endorse your position as a leader, or really believing that your place, this is the right place to be for you. And we have a problem because we are losing opportunity today. So for the startup, for example, when you have like one female co-founder, this is 63% of more performance for the startups, come from first round too. And for Europe, we are missing a huge opportunity with 50% of women in tech, in startup, and in managerial position in the tech industry. It is 9 billion euro. We can we can have like 9 billion euro for the European GDP. So the growth will be like really amazing. And when we have a diverse team, this is 90% of innovation and more innovation. Why? Because when you are allowed to say your ideas and to be like really in a collaborative way and diverse team, you can say a lot of things and you are not missing the opportunity. So I'm not here today to talk about why it's important to have like more women in AI for to fight against the bias. We know about that, and why we need to have like more women to address more users, because we are 52% of humanity. But this is a fact. We are losing today opportunity. And I was like about to tell you about the exception of the Muslim countries. This is something really I want to address, because I was looking at the number and saying, and Tunisia, this is amazing. 58% of 58% of women in science, so in Tunisia. So in the proportion, the ratio between male and women. So you have a majority. And I was like asking about why. Algeria is the same, so Benin, but for Tunisia and Algeria, I know why. So it's all about, I was talking about the narrative and the culture. In fact, in Tunisia, you have two choices. You can like choose to be an engineer in the construction and so building, or becoming like a programmer and doing programmation and data science. So they are choosing, because all the families are really encouraging them to become engineer, and they are choosing what is like the easiest things to do at home. So it's like not about freedom and really equality, but I was like about wondering why in developing country we have this huge disparity, and some Muslim countries who are like not so much developed in terms of gender equity are different. So I just want to show you the difference in the cultural perspective. In Russia, you have a lot of women in tech too. Why? Because it was communism, and a workforce is a workforce. So you need to do the work as a woman or a man. So it's all about the perception. Just to show you, so it's not saying it's really good countries or you need to do the same, but just about the narrative we are building all together, and what kind of change we can do as a parent. I know that Dipti is here. I don't know where she is. She was here. You know that. The narrative from the school, from the parents, all your environment today. We know that it's really important to drive the change in terms of education and also the pipeline you will see during your workforce condition. So the topic today was how to attract and retain more women in tech. So I will not give you the perfect secret sauce, but some ideas and some use case I've seen like from startup, and please, if you have like any question, you can ask, and I think it could be like really interactive. And if I'm saying like something you think is stupid, say it, please, and ask me. So first, I think we are in a new situation. It's like post-Me Too movement. We have like huge story we don't want to tell about anymore, but we heard a lot of things about that. So now we have a problem of pipeline and we have a problem of retention. So we need to drive an urgent change to tell the women in tech, you are really welcome, and this is what we are doing, and we are driving the change internally, and we are working on that, so you can come, it will be a safe place. So I think it's the time to do that, and to do it like seriously, not saying like as a communication or something like that, but driving the change and say what you are doing to drive this change, and tell about your data, tell about what you want to do, and really making like a big call because this is a fight of talent. We know that we have few women in the pipeline. We know that other countries such as Tunisia has. So perhaps we can look a little bit around and not only in the small area. And so this is the need now to really target them and really speaking really seriously about that and acting. This is urgent because just to talk about this situation, your consumer are waiting for that too. So I was like speaking about the delayed Uber movement. It's come from women really consumer. And then it became like a great and big movement against a company. So we need to be aware about that our consumer want to have like another kind of they don't want to hear about that anymore. So they want really to see the change inside the big tech companies today or big corporation. So it is like the Me Too and what's happened. And so now for male and women, this is non-optional to lead really a change about diversity, and they are waiting that from their leadership. In fact, this is a new study of First Round 2 in December, and they asked to all the employees, so male and women, if they want to stay in a company who are not acting really about diversity, and the number really increased 3 times. They are more likely to anticipate leaving the company within the next year if nothing changes. So it's really important to see this, to see that number. It comes from male and female. It's not about only women today. So why GAFA must drive the change? Everybody is looking at you. All the startup, we are based at Station F, and you know that Silicon Valley and what we are doing is like such amazing. That's great. You are great companies. Everybody is looking at you. So the number and what happened is really important. So it is a new data visualization. So sorry, I'm not one to be like it. But it's come from Matt Stempeck, CEO of Tally. This is a great application for women and people of color. And so he makes like some data visualization between the repartition between male and female employee. And we have the same for the minorities. I think it's kind of, it's a way of seeing really concretely that the number is not so good. So you see the number at Google about the male. So you have like 31% of female. For Facebook, it's like 33. For Apple, you see like these small pieces. It's 33 too. And so for Amazon, the numbers are really good, in fact. But what they didn't reveal really the number between the technical and non-technical. So what?
I think they are all in warehousing and stuff. Women and minorities.
What?
In warehouses and stuff like that. Amazon has a lot more employees.
Yeah. In terms of African type employees, they are like much better. Really. But they didn't say about the repartition between the technical and non-technical. So we don't know exactly the number. And for Google, this is the first year. I think I saw that in the report because this is like the new numbers that the publication is done. So, but we see that transparency is not enough, and we need to find solutions together to accelerate this change, because now all the startups are doing the same. And you are really the people who are really, they look at you, what you are doing, how you are doing the things. So in terms of attraction, what we can do. So first, so I'm talking for founders, and of course when you are like big team, and big corporations such as Google, you can do it in your team. But you need to think when you are coming into a new team, really to build diversity from day one. Because after, it will be really harder. This is the story of all the Facebook, Google. At the first time, it was like all male employee engineer coming. And then it's super hard to drive the change. Because when you have like a black employee is coming, a woman employee, and you are alone, this is a question of culture. It's like kind of hard to be like, to feel like really an inclusion and to be like really included inside your, it's like logical, in fact. So first, the top management, really all the leadership positions need to have like awareness about unconscious bias and a strong involvement of the CEOs. I have like studies, and I saw studies that 2 years ago, one founder is like on 4 in the tech industry in the US don't care about diversity at all. and work-life balance. They don't care. So just it's not a priority, but really not at all. So the first, it's come from the top, from the managers, the leaders, and the top management. If not, nothing happens. Second, we are talking a lot about referral inside the corporation, and so, but the problem is when you have like all white male employees, the referral is like all male and white, so referral employees. Why? Because the networking for male are really quite different from women. There is like various studies about that, and I can give you like all the perhaps links after. It could be like interesting for you. But everything comes from your internal network, so from the school, and really something really near. And for a woman, it's like a lot of meeting you do with a lot of people. We don't know, in fact, how to network well, but our kind of network is like more, I don't know say that in English, but it's not coming from the school, from the first circle. We have like a lot of different profiles, in fact. And so if you have like a majority of white male, the referral will be difficult. So you need to go really outside the network, finding another communities. If not, you are replicating the same faces and the same people. Second, we talk about that with you, but make sure that your job post and recommendation process is gender neutral. I know that Google is using like new kind of tools to write like gender neutral announce, but it's all the process you need to analyze. I want to give you the example of a new school in Paris, a growth hacking school, built by the ex-deputy CEO of Epitech. Cyril de Geger built the Rocket School Factory. The first year, he had like a lot of application, he received a lot of application, and in the selection process, at the end, they have like 70 or 75% of male. And he said, no. I was like at Epitech, it was a nightmare. I had 95% of guys, and it was like building strategy with all the people to not showing that there is a lot of guys inside the school, but nothing happened, and he didn't like really succeed to drive the change inside the school. So he said to his team, we need to look at the process. What can we do to change that? And so they looked really deeply into the process. And finally, they really realized that they are doing like a session with like pitch session, kind of pitch session. And the guy is saying, yeah, I'm the best. I have like all the competencies and all the skills. I will be the best. But finally, they didn't know really about the soft skills, the hard skills. So they built like another tool to analyze the soft skills too, and they changed the process of for the discussion before entering into the school. And so finally, they have 50% of female in the second batch, and the result with the company was really good because all the apprentices from this school were really appreciated by the enterprise. So showing that women really have the same skills as guys, and finally this is a really good appreciation coming from the company. So they continue to drive the change, and they will do it on more technical now program, and so that's important. And I think he wrote a lot of things. You can look at how we change the process and how we decide to really change the mind of all the team, and not only not only. I think it's really important to endorse your female talent. You have like a lot of role model, but inside the recruitment process, it really proves that if you have like a male and a female together, showing that we can like be a manager or having like a senior tech position, it's really good. And so not only women, but if you have like male and women, it could be like really better to hire and to feel like the company is inclusive and they have like a role model. You can like endorse them also into like tech communities at school or I think it's really important to show that you have like people in a senior position that you can really highlight. I want to talk about the culture fit because in startup world we are hearing a lot about that. Are you matching with our culture fit or not? So, and Sarah Nam from the CEO of Lever. So this is a young HR company in the Valley, and she was like the only CEO, and all the team was male dominated. So after 2 years, she decided to change everything, and all the employees look at what they can change, and so finally they decide that that during the recruitment process, the culture fit is not qualified. Why? Because this is really something subjective. This is subjective, and so you can measure it. So you need to be really precise and go deeply into the skills and the qualification, and not only a feeling of this girl will match with the culture fit or not. I will tell you the story that I heard in a coffee from developers, young developers, and I was hearing what they are saying about the recruitment process. It was 3 young girls in Paris, one from the East, one from London, and another one, because I talked with them after, and one from France. And they are saying, that's really terrible, this recruitment process in tech company, because I didn't match with the culture fit, because the culture fit was playing ping pong, or did you like to play video game or not? But she said, you know what? I like, I don't know say that in English, it's flea market, no? Brocante, flea market. And I can't say that because if not, they will say that I have no culture fit with the company. And another guy was like a HR in a fund, and he told me that every day he's talking with a 25 or 30 years old guy saying, oh no, we can't hire that one. She's like 32 and she had a child, a kid. We can't. It's not culture. We don't have any culture fit. How can we can drink beer after and having party? She will not like be included inside the company. And the guys was really fighting about that, and even at JSM saying that experience is super important. If you have like only 25 or 30 years old guys, what will you do? You need experience, you need skills, you need people really diverse, but it was a fight every day, and this is really true story. I'm not saying something like I invented, it's really true story. So these kind of things about culture fit, you can think it's really cool. And of course the values are important, but I'm talking about, you know, this kind of feeling of, we are not the fit, you know? And of course, so if you have like 90% of guys and 10% of girls, sometimes it's difficult to have like the culture fit, that we can say. So perhaps it's better to have like more about the qualification, measures, and data than this kind of subjective assessment. And so I was saying about value, soft skills, and non-technical skills, and not just technical skills, because we are in an era of where when you have like technical skills, you are like kind of, you are God, you know, yeah, everything is looking at you, everything wants to hire you. But if you are good at the technical skills, are you really good at the management? So when you have a code review, what is like the better thing? Is really to take your team really and engage them to drive and to find a solution, and tell it's not good and be like tough, or no, you need to be collaborative. So the better technical people will be to be a leader or manager, I don't know, tech lead, will be those with also these soft skills, and women have that sometimes. So you need to really look at that and look at how to change the collaborative way into your team, and not looking only about the technical aspect, I think. I put like some use case. So Duolingo achieved the 50-50 ratio. It was like 2 years ago. In the tech team, I was like really talking about the tech team and not all the company. And so what they did, they took decisions based on data. So for example, they decide to not go in all universities. They look at the numbers and they say, okay, we are going only in universities with over 18% of female students. When you need to partner with some universities, they took all the number and they say, okay, we will concentrate our action, and what we will do with university, we need to have like at least that number. So of course they increase the public outreach by involving the employees, male and women inside the communities, could be at universities or events. And they run like an employee resource group, and they as the same that Rocket School did. They look at all the process, took all the ideas, and really changed everything. In less than 2 years, they were successful. Of course, they are not so big, so it's like small company in comparison of Google, but perhaps we can do that at the team level. We don't look at the. If everybody is doing that in every team, I think we can like achieve some kind of success. Another story is like Symphony. I don't know if you know them. It's like the CEO is French, but the company was really building in the Silicon Valley. This is a crypto messagery from David Gurley. And I was talking with him, and he said, you know what? I have 40% of women in the R&D department. And I say, what? And no story, he didn't write anything about that. No, he told me it was I really decided that we need to have, like, since the beginning, more women. So, and I said, okay, it's cool, but you are in Palo Alto, tell me the story, please. And he told me that, so he'd say, okay, I was in China, in India, and I decided to diversify the team really quickly. I put all the benefits, all the advantage of parental leave, and finally, what happened? He said, so in this case, the referral from women works, and he had like organic and referral from female applicants really naturally, and he really succeeded to have like 40% in Palo Alto. I think it's kind of great achievement for a CEO. He was like the head of Skype, David, and so I think it's kind of interesting because if you are going on the website, you can see that. But he said, okay, I diversify my team really quickly at the beginning, and then the benefits, and then we change everything. So attraction is cool, but retention is better, because if we are losing every year a lot of women, how attract the new one? So I want to show you this book, and I take like so I took the book with me, and it's really cool and really good because it's all the data really bias really the world, and showing that the world is really designed and built and designed for men. And there is like really a huge part about the tech belief in meritocracy, and especially in tech. And saying that the myth of meritocracy in the tech industry is really conjuncting to all the unconscious bias you can imagine. Because the first preoccupation, the top one of every tech founder is hiring the best people. And for building a diverse team, it's like the 7 positions. So that means that best person is not diverse person sometimes. Because it's like all about, subjective assessment. With the best person. If you don't put like data, then look at the number. For girls, we are not looking at the same, like we are not looking at brilliant and smart since the school, in the university, and even if you are like a professor, you are not, the student are not looking at you as brilliant. So it's like that. We have a bias from the school. So how can we be like the best people trial? And a lot of founders, so I'm based in Station F, remember, and so I'm talking a lot with male founders, and they say, okay, I want women, but I want to hire the best. So that means that you don't have like the best people are not women. That's totally crazy because the skills are the same. Of course, the pipeline is not so big, but we have, and you need just to find. And another thing is like the performance. In this book, she highlights a survey of like 248 reviews from tech companies, And in this review about the performance, and 85% of all these companies are based plans about performance and so merit plans to increase your salary or to have a promotion. And so on this review, the majority of them for women have like personal criticism, so negative personal criticism, aggressive. It was like bossy, aggressive, also strident, emotional, and irrational. For men, we can see only aggressive appears in the review. But that's come into your performance. So it's like personal criticism, like negative perception of yourself. But if you look at warm and competence, so if we put, a man really look at warm, is perceived as really competent. But a woman really warm, it's like perceived as incompetent, you say. So we lose every time. We are bossy, it's not good. We have not so much performance. We are warm, we are not competent. And we are born, we are not brilliant. So it looks like it's not meritocracy, in fact. This is the institutionalization of unconscious bias. And we need to be aware about that, because if we are not aware, it could be like, okay, I want to hire like just the best person. Yeah, so I didn't say that, but after 35 years old, we have a difference of one, how do you say SMIC in English? Low salary income? Minimum wage. Sorry, thank you very much. So you have like a difference of one minimum wage between male and women. So this question of meritocracy, performance about your increasing your salary and getting promotion have really direct consequences. So we can say, okay, what can we do? Is your company exclusive enough? Ask them. We can collect data. We can collect needs. Every year we can collect these needs and analyze the data. I want to tell you the story about Sheryl Sandberg when she was at Google. And so she got pregnant. She had to take the car, and really the parking was really far away from the company. She was like already at the top management, and every day she had to work. And she said, okay, come to see the CEO. It was like really near from her, and say, okay, I can't anymore. I'm like really pregnant. Can I have like just park my car like in front of the company, please? Yes. Why not? Good idea. We will do the same for all the pregnant employees. So we need to have like someone in the top management, but we can collect data, in fact. So I was talking about pregnancy, but we can imagine like really collecting the data and the insight every year to perceive all the signals. We can like show that we will lose women inside your company. Another thing is like when you begin your career, you have in fact a lot of ambition. I read a lot of story about like 90% of the women really want to be like in a senior position, to access to creative technical roles. But in fact, it doesn't happen, so they are waiting. And finally, the ambition declines as they progress in their career. It's not something really you can analyze really from the beginning of the career, and then 10 years after, your ambition declines. So I think promote them earlier. It's like super easy, but we need to do something to keep it like really in the first step inside the company. We need to show the talent, to see the talent, analyze, and really promote them. And so we have a lot of personal training about women, be bold, you need to dare, go, or unconscious bias training on individual. But in fact, we need to track the data. And if you track the data, you can see where are the bias inside your company and what you can do to really, and you are Google, so you can do that. You are really good in data, really much better than everybody in the world. And so I want to show you that. So this is not a tech company, but this is a Reykjavik energy company. I met like a guy who really conducts the project, and I think it's really interesting. They closed the gender pay gap in 10 years. So 10 years, it's long, but it's okay. So finally they achieve. And so first, this is a CEO decision. He said, okay, we are like really in the energy industry, we have a problem, really huge problem. The disparity was really big. And he put that on the top priority of the entire company. They use a tool called Pay Analytics, and they put this tool inside all the HR management system, and it was based on data, and not only on the manager's data. So at every salary increase, promotion, the machine said, okay, why? You need to explain. And we need to say, okay, we have a problem because we have another position. She's like here from with good skills, good performance, and so you need to explain and we need to find why. And sometimes the decision was to say no. And so they really increase the numbers. So they put like first the people with the most differences, and then they analyze to not disturb too much. So it was a lot of mathematics. There is some articles that the founders wrote in. The company have a female co-founder, and it was an HBR. It's kind of interesting what they do to really do that. So we can do it, in fact. And it's just they plug all the system about the salary and HR all together. So it's like not a part of, and all can look at the data, and it's kind of interesting to know about that. I want to talk about mentoring quickly. Mentoring is good, but sponsoring is better, and we need male allies to that. So do you know the difference between mentoring and sponsoring? Who knows? Nobody?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Sponsor is the person who will create professional opportunities for you. Maybe there is a project or something like that. And the mentor is the one who is going to advise you on how you're going to manage certain situations.
Exactly. So in fact, we can advise someone to be like better, but we can say, hey, you know what? I heard about this position. I talk about you because I know that you have the skills and you can be the best. So that could really help. And as we have like a lot of male in a senior position, you can do it for women too. It's just to be aware about the situation and to do it for someone else. So I put the case of a conference. You can say, it could be great to talk at this conference, or, you know what, I recommend you to be like the speaker at this conference. And how can I help you to be prepared, perhaps? So that is the end of my talk. I just want to say a small word about 15 Tech. So 15 Tech, what we are. So first, we are a platform who want to connect the best pipeline of women in tech, so female founders and women working in the tech industry to the tech ecosystem, to all the people who want to diversify. So we just launched a platform end of November, so you can join and you will be really welcome. And we match based on skills and interest, and then we will like really connect all the ecosystem, really women-friendly ecosystems. So that means company with job opportunity and what they are doing for women really, and we really analyze that. It's like not you say and we say, oh, okay, you are really a great company to work. And you can share, so we have a matching. We are welcoming allies, so that means male and non-binary and all the people. It's like not only a woman-only community, because we can't change without to be like all together. And the idea will be like, so first showing all the great company to work, endorse your female talent if you are like on the platform. We want to increase the retention of employees, so we want to help to listen, so with surveys and analytics and dashboard recommendation. And three, because we know that is a lot of business opportunity. We want to promote startup program or corporate venture and all the call to application for startup today, because we have a lot of female founders on the platform. So we are a team. I have like our CTO, Julien. You will come after. My co-founder, sorry for her, she's like a personal problem today, so she can come. And Laetitia, our CMO, and our favorite team member, Nina. She's our back-end developer. Yes, she plays football, American football, but we really hate stereotypes. And that is like one of our investors, Geraldine Lemer, and really totally agree with that. It's not a question coming from men or women. It's like all together that we can build the next balanced ecosystem. So join us.
I have one question. You talk about the referral process and how it can kill the opportunity to have a more diverse team, and it's not only for gender, it can be for any other
For minorities.
diversity or underrepresented group. And the challenge we have at Google is that we have a huge growth of teams, and one of the solution to hire fastly is referrals.
Yeah.
And but it is against our goal of having more diversity. And I wanted to know what could be a solution when you have I have the feeling that when you want to build a diverse team, it takes time.
Yeah.
It's long-term effort. And when you are in a system which is only driven by short-term, what is the best solution to avoid, to not rely only on referrals, and how to make sure that the managers, leaderships also
will be involved.
Keep in mind this, and not only referrals, because this is something which is super easy when
Yeah.
you need to hire fastly.
Really, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. No, I don't have the perfect solution, but one kind of thing Google can do is really rewarding the manager who are doing this job. This is something, it is time. So you are spending time to do that, and you are spending time to really help the company to be diverse. So of course, being like connecting to all the communities who can help you easier to hire talent and to be matched with people really outside your network, of course, but also to be rewarded. It's like that. Really, to as a manager, to do that. And a lot of companies are beginning to not only analyze your performance and your time in terms of recruitment, but also what you are doing really to build a diverse team. And I think could be like something we can do. You know.
And this is the purpose of our platform.
Yeah, of course, like to match people outside your network, of course, but I want to say also that if you are spending time, that's the same for women who are doing like a lot of administrative tasks, you know, and you don't know, nobody look at that, you know, because we are doing that. But nobody look at that in your performance or something like that. But if you take time and you succeed, this is a vector of performance for me.
Can you explain a bit more how your platform can help company increase diversity?
Yeah, so what we are building, so as I said, we are like kind of, you know, the new startup. So we launched a system based on skills and interests, so you can match. So first, we are attracting a lot of women in all the fields. So of course, female founders, but not also. We are working with universities, with tech school. We partner with 42 and Simplon, and so all these women are looking for opportunities. And sometimes, since the internship, they have a lot of difficulties to find like place to be. And our solution want to match job opportunities and people who really can match with but not only based, so it could be like on skills, but also about what you are offering in the workplace as a workplace condition. So if you want to work in remote sometime, we need to highlight the company who can do that. So that's really the vision we have. We will launch the first company page in March. So we have already commitment from Société Générale, AXA, Prisma, and we will work with the next under 20, normally with Cedrico. We are working on that. And we are working about the matching, so recommendation. So at the beginning, it will be what you are doing and really having like a job board with gender neutral announce and highlighting diversity story, and then the matching solution. It's clear? Yeah. It's good.
And so how Google can be part of this story? So anybody in the room can join the platform?
So first, join, because we need to have like a lot of people who can advise. As a tech leader, male or female, you can advise a young student. We have like the case last week, a young student in crypto in London asked to the CTO and resident of Microsoft, so of Microsoft for Startup, to be matched because she wanted to talk about AI and how to become a CTO, for example. So it's like, for now, it's like connection like that, but then it will be like really regarding the job. So we are like really we need to give resources and people so you can join. And
Just why 50?
why 50? Because we want to achieve the parity. We have 52% of the population, but I didn't want to put woman in the name, so it's like 50% off. We don't know if it is the perfect name. We have like good, so we don't. But I don't. The fact is, we have 30% of male who are following us is important. So I don't know, but I didn't want to put like woman or her in the name. It's all about gender equity and diversity. So I don't know. Yeah, but it was really the goal to achieve a 50-50 ratio. Okay.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you.